Okay, we are at our local dairy. I'm gonna pick up some butter. I have been really interested in getting local, farm fresh, 100% grass-fed butter. I thought I was getting 100% grass-fed butter from the store, then I found out that it's actually not 100% grass-fed, and there's a difference between 100% grass-fed versus grass-fed and grain finished. So I'm gonna talk to you about that difference that I learned about and show you the difference when you actually compare two butters side by side and you can see the colors. And this is one of my favorite things to do actually, is just go to the farm, take my daughter with me, show her the cows, and then we pick up our butter. So I'm gonna take you along as I do that, and then I will take you back home for a little farm to table grocery haul. I spend a lot of my time in the summertime picking up vegetables from local farms, and so I'm gonna show you the haul I just got of vegetables now that summer is peaking here where we're at, and talk to you about what I'm going to make with them. Hey! Some pretty grass there. You can literally see these cows eating from the grass all day long. And when they're not eating outside, they have hay stored up for the wintertime. Look at all that hay stored up. All winter long, 100% grass-fed. Sorry, I'm using my mom voice right now because I've got Allison here with me. Hi! Very cool. Hi guys, this is where the babies are. That one's looking pretty big to me though. Not so baby anymore. Aww. Getting some kisses on the leg here. Hi guys. Okay, here we are picking up our butter. Oh yes. That is looking really good. Okay, this is a different day, but I'm finally ready to chop up all of this butter into bags, because what I like to do is I like to portion it out, and basically what would be like a stick of butter, so half a cup, and put it in the fridge. And what I wanted to do today was I wanted to take a look at this butter, and I wanted to compare it with Kerrygold. Now Kerrygold is a great brand of butter. It's from grass-fed cows, it's from Ireland where they have a lot of luscious green grass. But I used to buy this butter as our sole butter. This is the only place I bought butter, and I really liked it for a long time. However, I read recently that there were some controversies and maybe some lawsuits against Kerrygold because they said it's grass-fed, but it's not actually 100% grass-fed. And it got me going down the rabbit hole of what does that mean? And I want to kind of explain that to you guys here. So if you don't know, cows eat grass. I know that sounds really obvious, but I'm saying that because all cows are grass-fed to a degree. So a calf is born in the grass. I don't know of any farms that don't allow their cows to eat grass, because that's what cows eat. But the controversy lies around when they switch to grain, because from what I understand, a lot of times they will be grass-fed and then they will be what's called grain finished, and they will eat grain before they are processed or harvested, however you want to put it. And the other thing you might notice at the store with butter is you might buy organic butter. So it's confusing when you see organic butter and then you see grass-fed butter, and then you might see organic grass-fed, and you're like, what's the difference? If they're eating grass, isn't that already organic? Or how do I know that what the butter I'm getting is in fact organic? Because what you're really looking for is pesticide-free, hormone-free, that kind of thing. So what I found out is that When you see the butter that's labeled organic, that means that the grain that they're finishing their cows on is in fact organic. So that means it's non-GMO, no pesticides, no artificial ingredients. And that's really important to me, especially the non-GMO part, because I don't want to be consuming that stuff. We don't buy non-organic food anyway, for the most part. Of course, we can't 100% eliminate non-organic food from our diet because we still participate in fun stuff in life. But the point being is that when you're buying 100% grass-fed butter, the idea is that the cows are not grain finished. So that means that they are 100% grass-fed. So with Kerrygold, it's interesting because it says milk from Irish grass-fed cows, but it does not say 100% grass-fed. And so some people got really upset because they found out that these cows did in fact eat grain. And the company's like, well, all cows eat grain, they're mostly grass-fed. So then the question is, if they're 80% grass-fed, let's just say, and 20% grain, the question is, what is that grain that they're eating? And in that grain, what is genetically modified or non-organic? Because if it was organic grain, they would be writing organic on the label. So I don't know if you're interested in all that, but this is the kind of stuff I find fascinating. I love to read about it in my spare time. We have a local dairy to us, and I thought it would be best to buy butter from them. I reached out to them and they said it is 100% grass-fed, and so they do not have any grain. So how do you know that your butter is good if you are not sure the details of what the cows are eating? So meaning, if you can't reach out to the company or the website's not clear, another thing you can do is look at the color of the butter. So a lot of times people associate butter with the color white. Truly grass-fed and super healthy cows would actually produce more of a yellow butter. So we're gonna open up the Kerrygold, we're gonna look at this butter, we're gonna compare the two and see which one looks more yellow, because we should expect this one to be more dark yellow than this one. Okay, so let's take a little look here. Okay, so here is the Kerrygold butter, and this is the 100% grass-fed butter from our local farm. Now, it is funny because I chose to film this video in summertime, and most likely in the summertime for the Kerrygold butter, those cows are probably eating all grass right now. In fact, I went on the Kerrygold website and they explicitly state that the supplementary feed, i.e. the grain, is fed to the cows in the wintertime. So this comparison would probably be more effective in the wintertime when they are eating some grain. I also noticed that my farm fresh 100% grass-fed butter was a lot darker to me in person than on the camera, especially when I started chopping it up. So you can see here the rich golden color of the farm fresh butter, and the Kerrygold remained more white. So in conclusion, I would say that the Kerrygold is a great butter for if you don't have a local butter near you. You can tell by the color that it is, although it is lighter in color than the 100% grass-fed butter, it's still pretty yellow. I should have bought a non-grass-fed butter to compare to see that color, because I have seen some pretty white butters in the past. And if your butter is pure white, you know they're just really not getting that good grass. And so it's important to just do your research and look into what the animals that you're eating, whether you're eating meat or dairy, what they're eating, because ultimately it's all going to end up in you. I saw a little bit of a bandwagon on social media of like a boycott Kerrygold kind of thing, and I am not going to jump on that bandwagon. I think Kerrygold is a fine option. You can tell because the butter is yellow. So if the butter wasn't yellow, I wouldn't be saying that, but it's clearly yellow. However, I have a better option available to me because I have that local dairy that I showed you guys. So it's all about what options are available to you, and that's how you can make a good choice for yourself. Now, if you're interested in making your own butter, I do have a tutorial for that on the YouTube channel and the blog. You just need heavy whipping cream, and you can jazz it up with salt or herbs. So I'll leave a link for that below. All right, I'm in the kitchen and I just did a farm to table haul. Every week we go and pick up fresh vegetables from our local farm via a CSA pickup. And since it is the peak of summer, the vegetables are just abundant. And so I thought they were so beautiful and I wanted to take a video of them and show you what we got. So I did not get any meat or any pantry staples, anything like that. This is mostly just vegetables. But we got this curly kale. We eat a lot of kale in our house. We have a kale salad every night. But I usually do the dino kale, which is darker. It's not as fluffy, it's more flat. but this is a really nice variety. Curly kale goes a long way. It also stores very well in the fridge. So if you're looking for a lettuce that keeps well, curly kale keeps pretty well as long as it's covered. We got a lot of tomatoes, some large ones, some cherry tomatoes. Some of these are actually from my garden. And then we got some green tomatoes, which I'm excited about because I did not know green tomatoes was a thing. I thought you had to wait for them to turn red, but you can actually slice these and use them up right now. So I'm excited to try. They're kind of stiff, so I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm excited to try those. I also got some beans. These are Tiger's Eye dry bean, and I'm just soaking them in a bowl of water here because I plan on making a vegetable minestrone soup. Then we got some spicy peppers and some mild peppers. These are the spicy ones. And we got a whole bunch of those. Now, I'm not a huge fan of spicy peppers, so I need to be creative with that because my husband really likes spicy peppers and he picked those up when he went with me to pick all of this up. We got a lot of herbs, so we got a couple bunches of basil, and then behind me you can see hanging up right above my head here is parsley. We have so much parsley already that I just decided to dry those. Whenever you have extra herbs, especially in the summertime, just dry them. If you aren't using them up fresh, you can also stick them in the freezer. I do that a lot. I like to get rosemary, sage, and thyme together, all three of those in a bunch, and then I put them each in a Ziploc bag in the freezer because I stuff those in my chicken when I make a whole roasted chicken. We got a bunch of carrots, which I'm kind of bummed out about because I just picked them up from the store. But we go through carrots really fast. I'm also gonna get a little bit creative and maybe make a steamed or fermented carrot recipe with these. But I do like to add carrots whenever we make a roast. Allison is actually sitting right here. You can't see her, but she's eating carrots right now. Cooked, of course. And then these are the mild peppers that I think I will like these better because they cook more like a bell pepper. So I'm gonna throw these probably in the soup I'm gonna make and also for tacos. I've never seen these before, so these are really beautiful. And then of course we have a lot of zucchini squash. Zucchini is one of the fastest and easiest, most abundant growing vegetables, I would say. They just have so many at the farm whenever we go. So I'm gonna be making a zucchini patty with these actually today for lunch. So I'm gonna just fry them up with some Parmesan cheese and bread and make kind of a patty out of it. And we'll see how that turns out. And I will put that recipe on the blog when I get it right. And it's gonna be delicious. I love roasting zucchini or throwing them on the grill, but roasting is my favorite way. Chop them up really small, put them at 375 with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then adding Parmesan cheese at the end of roasting so it just crisps on the top. So because I like that so much, I think I will really like these zucchini patties I'm gonna make. I just need to do something other than roasting zucchinis because we're getting tired of having roasted zucchinis all the time. I also may make a einkorn zucchini bread as well because although I'm not a big fan of bread other than just sourdough bread because we eat so much sourdough bread that I don't normally have an appetite for something like a zucchini bread, I am probably just gonna make it anyway and we'll make it delicious because we have so much zucchini, we have to do something with it. Cauliflower is another great local fresh vegetable. I love to roast cauliflower. It's one of my favorite vegetables to roast actually, as well as broccolini. But you just chop it up, put it on a baking tray, drizzle it with olive oil, salt, and pepper, 375, about 20 minutes. Also very good with Parmesan cheese. So I wonder if I can make a cauliflower patty too. I don't know. I'll think about that. Sometimes I get an idea for so many recipes that I need to just pick one and stick with that. And then of course we got some nice garlics. I love that these are fresh and they're just very large. We like to eat garlic whole. I put it in our whole roasted chicken with some bone broth, roast it for an hour and a half, and then we can eat the whole thing and it's flavored with the juices of the chicken and the spices we put on. It is so good and so good for your immune system too. Garlic is a natural immune boosting food. Okay, last one, this big thing here is of course the butter. I took you with me to pick this up at the farm and this will last us at least a month. I'm gonna chop this up and put it in bags. That is about a half a cup at a time. That way I can store it in the fridge and bring one bag out at a time as we're using it. We use butter for so many things, but I really taste the difference between this butter and our previous butter. Yay! Kiss. I think we need more food. Let's get you some more food. Okay, well thank you so much for stopping by and helping me go pick up butter and talk about the difference between grass-fed, grain-finished butter and what that means. So if you're brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Every week I get a new video out on farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. And don't forget to stop by the blog too, theduvallhomestead.com. That's where you'll find written up recipes, free downloads, and new updates every week. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.